Hi everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and I am doing a quick little video on how I pick my decks that I work with for my paid readings or for readings for others. And sometimes I guess readings for myself in some instances, but definitely primarily for my process when I am trying to narrow down my collection that I have to actually working decks that I will be using during a reading. There are some decks, as we all know, which is just purely for collection purposes. It's not really to use, so those are instantly easy to leave on the shelf. And then there are some decks where I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of called to use you. I'm not quite sure. Oh my gosh, I want to use this deck. I want to use this deck, but it's a love reading. So what I do is for all the decks that I use for clients, and I usually have about 5 or so tarot decks and about 5 or so oracle that I use strictly for clients. I will then shuffle the decks, and whichever deck produces the highest, most favorable card is the deck that is going to be used in the reading. It's just something that I've been doing since I've been doing readings for others. And it works every single time. I'm never disappointed when I follow that strategy, when I follow that process. Like I said, simply, I don't have a tarot deck on me. I only have, well, I'm not going to go through all of that because that one, but I'll just shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And whichever card jumps from that deck, I put it face up and I move on to the next deck that I was contemplating using in my reading for someone else. And then I do that deck and I see what the card is. Sometimes it comes down to even just the courts, whichever is the highest, most favorable court, because all of the decks will pick, or the jumping cards will be lower numbered court cards. Sometimes it'll be a major arcana card that's not really favorable up against a minor arcana that's very, very favorable. But I follow my intuition in that case and I go with that deck, and that is the deck that I will use in the reading. And another thing that I do pre-reading is I do just that, a pre-reading for the reading itself. Like, Spirit, what is it that this querent really needs to know? Or what is it that I may overlook in the actual reading, or whatever? It's just a little, like 1 or 2 cards that speaks to me about that querent or about that reading that I'm about to do. And it helps me kind of get that connection, so to speak, to the querent and to their question that I'm about to dive into. And it just kind of reassures me when I see things come up that had come up in that pre-reading that my client doesn't even know about, into the actual reading. I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track here. And so, yeah, those are just my little things that I do to help me, because like I said, sometimes it can be really daunting if you have a collection of even, say, 10 tarot decks. I think now I'm up at like 40 tarot decks. I know it's not by like anyone's other standards, like it's kind of probably on the smaller side, but for me it's like a massive collection. So from that though, I only use a small percentage for readings for others, especially paid readings. So I needed to have something to help narrow down the decks and kind of go with where I'm intuitively called to go with those particular decks. And also, I have decks in mind for my love readings. I have them for my abundance and my career readings and my, life readings and all these particular decks for different scenarios. So that also helps narrow it down. But for sure, once I have it at that level, and then let's say I have about 3 or 4 decks to choose from, then that's when I do my little technique with the highest, most favorable card. So there you have it. my little process with tarot. Let me know what little things you do to help your tarot process come along or go along, whether you're reading for yourself or for others. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Many, many blessings to all of you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.